Welcome to another edition of It's Still Real to Me. Everything Zaslow Show 2.0, including It's Still Real to Me, is always brought to us by our title sponsor, Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys. If you've been involved in any kind of an accident, hit and run, motorcycle, automobile, boating accident, slip and fall, Anidjar and Levine are going to take care of you. They're going to treat you like family. They're going to get you the money that you deserve. Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. Got my pal Joey Levine here with me for another edition of It's Still Real to Me as we recap all the big stories of the week in the world of pro wrestling. Joey, hello. How are you? Good morning.
Morning. I'm doing well. I'm ready. I'm excited to talk about the three biggest promotions in professional wrestling: AEW, WWE, and the Bloodline. Let's do this.
It does seem like everything boils down to, like, if WWE had a good week or not is dependent on if something big happened with the Bloodline. And I'll tell you, look, we're going to start there. We're going to start with SmackDown from a couple nights ago. That final segment of SmackDown was amazing. I mean,
incredible. Incredible.
Up there with some of the all-time best Bloodline segments. I don't know if it's the best. There are others that are better, but it's really close. It's up there near the top of all-time great Bloodline segments. So yeah, let's start right there. We got a lot of stuff to get to. A lot happened on SmackDown this week, I thought. A little bit noteworthy on Raw, and you had a bunch of stuff happen on AEW Dynamite this week as well, as we're setting up for Forbidden Door. When is Forbidden Door?
Forbidden Door is end of the month, June 25th.
Okay, so we still got some time. So we're a few weeks away from Forbidden Door, and then the week after that is Money in the Bank. So, all right, so we're marching toward two
it's exciting
shows.
It's exciting because the pay-per-views last month, although they all ended up being very good, like the build-ups, I wasn't that excited. But Money in the Bank's always a huge pay-per-view. It's always exciting, and we're going to talk about it later. I'm already kind of pumped for Forbidden Door. I think it's going to be fucking awesome.
Well, I hope so, because if you remember, the first Forbidden Door that they did last year ended up being a little bit of a dud because there were so many injuries, right?
Yeah, and some of the matches, I went back through the card because there's two matches. We're just a tease for later in the show. There's two matches that I believe are official. There's one that I have a feeling seems like it's headed that way. And those three matches could headline any pay-per-view for any promotion. So just as a tease. But looking back at last year, the main event was Moxley versus Tanahashi, which is fine for the AEW title. And then there was a fatal four-way between Okada, Jay White, Hangman, and Adam Cole for the IWGP Championship. Great matches. The rest of the card was just kind of like, whatever. Not great.
All right.
So I'm excited about this one, though.
All right, so let's get it started here. Let's start with WWE and specifically everything that took place on Friday night. So the entire show is leading toward celebrating Roman's 1,000-day reign, which, was 6 days prior, but his 1,000-day reign, which, of course, is somewhat ruined because he doesn't want the Usos there because Jimmy kicked him in the face, and there's big trouble there. So the celebration is started out. First of all, did you believe throughout the show that the Usos were not going to be there? They were not invited. Paul Heyman said that there's security. They're not going to be allowed near the ring. I mean, security, what were they, hanging out in catering? I mean, the Usos walked right up to that ring, no problem.
Is anybody worse at their job than Adam Pearce? I mean, come on. Adam Pearce guaranteed Paul Heyman that the Usos wouldn't be allowed in the building.
Security? Where
was Adam Pearce?
It's not even like the Usos came through the crowd. They told the TV truck, play our music, and then walked down to the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some serious incompetence going on there. So the segment starts, though, with Triple H. Were you aware that they were going to – now, you keep up with the dirt sheets. We do big dirt, not big dirt. I don't pay attention to most of that stuff because I don't like having stuff spoiled for me in any type of fashion. So were you aware they were going to present Roman with a new belt?
Yeah, I had there was like a couple people tweeted, a couple of the Sean Ross Sapps of the world were tweeting stuff about it. So I didn't really know, but what I guess I don't totally understand is that just a new Universal title? Is he still holding the WWE title? So is he still walking around with two titles?
Good question. I was thinking about that. I think he's going to be walking around with as many belts as he possibly can.
So you think they're going to keep the old Universal title and this new Universal title?
I think that whenever he defends the WWE Universal title, I think it's for the gold belt. But I think that, like, I don't think the blue and the red and the old, the black one. I don't think those are actively to be defended anymore. I think they're his belts forever.
And but you think the blue belt still stays around? Because isn't the blue belt's the Universal title, right?
Yes, the blue belt is the Universal. No, so I don't think it stays around. No, I think as long as he's champion, he's going to carry around as many belts as he possibly can. But I think when he fights now, it's for the gold one. That's my guess.
Because they called it undisputed. That's the only reason unified. They didn't say unified. They said undisputed.
They've never said unified. They always say undisputed WWE Universal title.
Right. Okay.
So like I said, I think he's going to carry. Whatever. Yeah.
They haven't really changed the design. Like since they changed to this current design, every new belt that's a world title or in this fashion is just sort of a different iteration of that design.
Yeah, they got to sell the toys, dude. They got to sell merch.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, there's nothing it's gold.
Yeah.
That's cool, but everything else is exactly the same.
Yeah, it's fine. So I don't think the other belts are actively going to be defended ever again, but I think he's carrying them around.
Okay, but then what happens to the lineage, so to speak, of the WWE title?
That's a good question.
Right? You can't just retire the WWE title. So I don't know.
I think it carries over to the. I think what it essentially means is the Universal title is kind of no more. I think that's what that means. Right. I think the lineage for the WWE title, because you're right, that has to carry on. I think the lineage for the WWE title is embedded in this undisputed title. I think the Universal title may essentially be done.
Okay, but it's still going to be called the Universal title.
Undisputed,
but it's going to have the lineage
title.
of the WWE title. Okay.
That's my guess. Guess.
It's fine. I mean, it's all very convoluted with the title picture, especially now having another title. It's all very weird, but whatever. Yeah.
Cool. And don't be afraid to figure out why the Raw women's title's on SmackDown and the SmackDown women's title's on Raw. Don't be afraid.
Oh, we're never going to get an answer. I think this is the way I think Tony Khan likes to troll with certain things. This is Triple H's ultimate troll. It's just like, you know what? Never going to address it. They're just always going to be on the wrong show.
I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it's like I wish it would just be acknowledged.
Anyway. I don't know.
Anyway, all right, so let's get to the Bloodline. All right, you got the Usos who now interrupt. You saw it coming a mile away, and then we get down to Jimmy. Did you notice like Jimmy cut the promo of his life, right? And it wasn't even. I imagine this was on purpose because it seems like everything that happens to the Bloodline is purposeful. He wasn't Jimmy Uso in that promo. He didn't have the voice. Like, he was just talking. I don't know if he's Jonathan. Is it Jonathan and Joseph? Are those their names? The Usos in real life?
Yeah,
too? I don't know which is which. But he was talking as himself. He did not have the character, the voice inflection, which I thought was really interesting. And you've never heard from the Usos before. And yeah, so you get to the money part, obviously, which is
Joshua and Jonathan.
Joshua and Jonathan. I don't know which is which. All right.
Yeah, because Joe is Roman.
Yeah, right. Oh, right. Joseph, Joe, of course. Yeah, I don't know if Jimmy is Jonathan or Joshua, but
Jimmy is Jonathan and Jay is Joshua.
Okay, so yeah, that was Jonathan Fatu that was talking there. He was not in his character voice, and I thought that was a cool little effect, especially coming off of Saturday at Night of Champions, because you had Jay yelling, Joe, like they were using their real names. They were essentially talking to their real selves there. So I thought that was a cool little, nugget that we got out of that segment. And so obviously it all boils down to Solo tells Roman, you're my tribal chief, but these are my brothers.
That was the moment for me. That was like, this is the first, because I was sitting here at my house. I was watching with my mom. She gets into it when the tribal chief is on the screen. And when the Bloodline storyline is happening, she gets into it. And I was like, I don't think you understand. This is a huge moment, not only because of the story. Solo hasn't spoken on TV.
He's spoken like a word.
But he's never had a microphone.
He's never spoken a sentence.
Yeah, on WWE TV, he's never held a microphone and spoken, as far as I know. Yeah. Maybe Victor can find that I've missed it, but I don't think he has. And I was like, whoa, this is a big moment for the Bloodline. He's going to talk. And then the whole situation that he joins the Usos, I was like, whoa, this is drama. Like everything else that goes on in WWE with the titles, with the IC title, with the wrestling, it's professional. There's a lot of professional wrestling that's really good. This is like peak storytelling with Solo speaking and joining the Usos at that point was amazing.
And so Roman hugs Jimmy, but that's essentially hugging him like saying goodbye. All right. He's saying goodbye to Jimmy. And then I was shocked that he got the Samoan spike. I didn't see it coming.
I was torn because there was part of me where I was like, this isn't it. It's just on a random. Now it's not a random SmackDown, but I'm like, so this is it. Like to me, I was thinking it's Roman versus the rest of the Bloodline now for good. I actually thought it was going to be Jay who turned somehow. I thought Jay was going to be the one who turned on that. I don't know what it was in my mind. But
Jay is such a puppet, like he's Jay's essentially Reek from Game of Thrones. He just does whatever his master wants.
Well, we had the moment at the end, right? Where as they were getting ready to go off air.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman says, my tribal chief, what about Jay? He said, Jay will do what he always does, fall in line, which I thought that's interesting. I think that obviously means Jay and Roman at SummerSlam to me.
Well, can this, because now we got the brothers. You don't know what's going to happen now between Jimmy and Jay, and you also have Solo.
We're going to have the tag. I think it's going to be the Solo and Roman versus the Usos at Money in the Bank, right?
Yeah,
that's what this is.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And you got Solo who's betrayed his brothers, but he's with the tribal chief. Can we get Rikishi in the Usos corner? Can we get Rikishi involved now?
Well, so Rikishi did a great job on Twitter this week.
Great
job. He's been tweeting since Night of Champions.
And for folks who don't know who are listening, it's still real to me because look, it is kind of hard to keep track of everything with the Samoan dynasty. Rikishi is the father of the Usos and Solo.
And Roman's uncle or cousin? Cousin.
Cousin.
Technically cousin.
Roman and the Usos and Solo are second cousins.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So Rikishi was tweeting all week. They started the segment so early. I mean, Triple H came out at like 9:35.
That was my favorite part when the Usos were in the ring and they were talking to Roman. I checked the time left on the show and it was 10 minutes left. I'm like, oh shit, there's so much that's going to happen here.
I thought Rikishi was showing up this week. I thought like there was a part of me based on the way he was tweeting that it needed to get figured out and it needs to be handled. And he was tweeting stuff like that. And he tweeted again, I think he tweeted again yesterday, like figure it out. Like you could tell he's tweeting about the blood.
Let's go.
I thought Rikishi was going to get involved. It feels like at some point, either him or I don't know what other elders are left to get involved, but it seems like Rikishi would be the one.
So can we
did a great job this week of making it seem like he might get involved.
Can we get to SummerSlam? I mean, this is the move, right? Can we get to SummerSlam? Rikishi's involved somehow. Maybe he's in the Usos corner. And at the end of the night, Rikishi, all right, he lays out Roman and the show. And you know then what Rikishi's got to say. You know what the line is. He lays out Roman and then I did it for The Rock. That's gotta be the moment.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I did it for The Rock. That's gotta be it. That's the big payoff with Rikishi. That
would be fun. There's so much right now with the Bloodline. I don't think The Rock's ever getting involved. I don't think he is. You know what actually this week made me feel like? Well, the two things. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big thing on Twitter. Everyone's still mad about Cody Rhodes not winning.
Oh, but we wouldn't have any of this if Cody won.
Okay, so that's where. Okay, so here's the question. No, but here's the question. I saw multiple people tweet, like wrestling fan accounts and stuff like that, saying this. So no one disagrees that this story is amazing. They know it's amazing,
right?
But there seems to be a split, and a lot of people who think it would be amazing even if Roman didn't have the titles. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think it probably would still be amazing even if Roman didn't have the title, but it's better what he does.
Right. I mean, I don't think it would be as good. He can't be cocky without the whole thing is that he's the tribal chief. He's the one who makes everyone relevant because he's the champion.
He doesn't have the titles. Him a new belt,
yeah. But now, if he doesn't have the titles, they're just like a middle of the card storyline. The fact that he has the titles and everyone's chasing the titles makes him the face of the company. He's not going to be the face of the company without the titles.
Although right now, no one's chasing the titles, right?
Yeah, well, that's I don't know what's happening there. Now, here's my other thing from this. I think what just happened, this starts the pathway for the Bloodline to last another year and a half.
Easily take us to WrestleMania. Easily.
I think even further. And I tell you why. I think now that this happened last night, where there's a clear break between the parts of the family, this gets us to the point where eventually they reunite and Roman becomes the biggest face in the industry. They hug it out. Like there's a moment coming. It might be a year from now.
Like Roman saves them from something?
Yes. And like he finally realizes, like, I've been an asshole. This is my family. These are my guys. They all hug. And now the Bloodline's the biggest face faction for the next ever in all of wrestling. I like
that, but I don't want it anytime soon.
No, I don't think it's I don't think it's anytime soon. But it feels like that's how, like, next year this time, or even like next May or whatever, when it's like, all right, we've done Jay, we've done Jimmy, we've done Solo. Like, where do we go? Like, what's left? Okay, now this is what's left. This is what's left is eventually making him into the biggest face, like biggest good guy that we could ever possibly have.
I can dig it. Yeah.
And also, like, he's a little bit older. He's been doing this for a long time. He's been going hard. Maybe that's his last little stint, is actually having people like him. I don't know. But I don't think it's anytime soon because there's so much stuff still to work out with this story. But that's what I felt last night. I was like, oh, this sets up for a great hug.
That was such good shit, though, man.
At some point, there's going to be a great, great hug, and it's going to get a big pop.
That was really good shit, man. Really good. You have anything else to add on the Bloodline before we move on?
No. I think it'll be Heyman will do something, and then probably Roman will turn on Heyman too, and that'll get a big pop.
Is there a chance?
Because Heyman can't be a face.
Is there a chance? Because I want to talk about Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a chance that Jimmy or Jay are in the Money in the Bank ladder match? No,
because I think it's going to be. I think that. Well, I guess anything's possible, but I think that is going to be the main event. Is going to be the two of them. It's going to be the Usos versus Roman and Solo.
Okay. Yeah. You're probably right.
And also, I also don't think that the winner of Money in the Bank this year is going after Roman. I think it's either going after Rollins or going after Gunther.
Why? Because Austin Theory, he tried and he failed, and no one's going to try that shit again.
Well, on Raw, Gunther sort of teased with they had a backstage segment with Riddle, and Gunther sort of said, he's like, "You want it? Go win Money in the Bank, and then come after my title."
Yeah, I don't want that. And the winner of Money in the Bank better go after Seth Rollins, because that helps establish that as a big time championship for anyone who's like, it's a secondary title. Like, whoever wins Money in the Bank better go after Seth Rollins.
Well, we're going to talk about who's in, right? Because there's three guys in after this week. Yeah, that's what I want to
talk about.
But I wanted to ask you, did I bring this up last week? I think I've kind of convinced myself that it's Edge.
That's going to win Money in the Bank?
Yeah, and then, because remember, your whole thing, one of your things was...
I thought he was going to win the world title.
Right, but think about it. Edge wins Money in the Bank, first ever Money in the Bank winner, the ultimate opportunist, cashing in against the guy who had the greatest ever Money in the Bank cash in, Seth Rollins. And then Edge maybe wins the title, and this is his last run. I don't think Edge has been on TV in a little bit, but that could be.
He hasn't since he lost in the tournament. So it's been a few weeks.
Yeah. But I was thinking about that last week. Like Edge, Seth Rollins, Edge winning Money in the Bank, even though I don't necessarily want it because I want one of these up and comers to win, but I wouldn't be mad at that.
So who do we have in Money in the Bank so far?
Ricochet, Shinsuke, and LA Knight.
LA Knight, man. Super over. We all know this. They were booing Montez throughout the match.
Yeah.
LA Knight wins. The crowd is super hot for it. And he's got a legit chance. He's got a chance to win Money in the Bank. Like, that's going to be fun as hell, man. That is if LA Knight can have a moment. Yeah, that'd be fun as hell, man.
It'd be fun. Obviously you put Ricochet in there. He has no shot to win, but you put him in there because it's a ladder match and that's fun.
Yep.
I thought it was I think
Shinsuke's
weird.
got a chance. He's got a chance.
I like Shinsuke being in it. I thought him being in it at the expense of Bronson Reed is a little strange because I feel like Bronson Reed, it was great for those kind of matches.
Yeah, you would want both of them in the match. It was surprising they were fighting each other.
Right. That's what was weird to me.
Yeah.
And then also they had the only women's competitor so far is Zelina. And
when all the women came out on the Grayson Waller effect, like those are all the women who are in like the tournament to qualify, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. They still have to do their qualifying matches. But can I ask you, is there anything better? Because my favorite thing in professional wrestling, I've probably talked about this. We've talked about this probably even back to when we started this show last year. Asuka and Io Sky yelling at each other in Japanese.
I love when they're swearing at each other in Japanese.
There's nothing better than Asuka and Io yelling at each other in Japanese.
I love that.
They came out when Io came out and they started yelling at each other. I was just like, give me this all day. And I think Io's going to win this, right? Like it's going to be Io.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think Io can win Money in the Bank because I need an Io Asuka feud. And if you have the briefcase, it's not a feud. I do not think Io wins. I need to have an Io babyface Asuka heel feud for that title. And maybe it'll come right after Money in the Bank when someone else is carrying around the briefcase. But they need a feud. There needs to be a
feud. Then maybe this is how maybe Money in the Bank is how Damage Control breaks up. Bayley costs her or something. And then they break up.
Now Bayley's won Money in the Bank before. Not that stopped competitors from winning multiple times, but Bayley's won before. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. She's super hot right now. Like, I could see Zelina winning Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I could too. But the reason I even brought up Zelina is because they did a backstage segment with the LWO. And I guess Santos has a qualifier next week. I think it's very obvious he's going to win his qualifying match.
Yeah.
And I could see him winning. LWO has been the hottest thing in wrestling. I mean, other than the Bloodline, in WWE, I should say, other than the Bloodline, basically. I mean, they carried like 2 months of TV. I don't see a scenario where you could go wrong having Santos win Money in the Bank. As cool as LA Knight would be, like LA Knight is going to be over no matter what. He doesn't necessarily. He's one of those guys that like no matter what he does, he could lose Money in the Bank and then go fight with Gunther. He could fight with Theory as a face. Like he could do a bunch of stuff. LWO walking around with money in the bank would be pretty fun. So I could see that happening too.
Yeah,
but Zelina makes sense too.
I'm totally here though for an Io Sky Asuka feud. Like that shit will be awesome. I love Io Sky, and she has yet to get her shine since returning.
But she has to turn
almost 2 years ago.
But she has to turn face, right? Because Asuka's a heel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to establish Asuka as the big bad heel. Absolutely.
So then maybe her and Bayley break up and she does a little quick thing with Bayley where she's the face and then goes to Asuka. Now here's the question. Asuka beat Bianca because
but they're not done.
But I'm saying like Asuka so she had the mist in her mouth and wiped it on her hand and then wiped it in Bianca's face.
I like that move.
So Asuka Asuka's impervious to the mist? Is that what we're saying?
Of course.
Like if it's so hot, like it's got chili peppers in it or whatever.
Yeah.
She just always has, because during the Grayson Waller effect, it just started coming out again.
Yeah.
And not only did she have it in her mouth, it started dripping onto her face.
Nah, she doesn't care.
It doesn't hurt her face.
No.
It only hurts other people's faces.
Of course.
Got it. Okay. I just wanted clarity. Also, Grayson Waller, the line, Bring out more women. I love this. I love the United States. That
Yeah,
was a
he's
great
great.
line
He's
by
great.
Jason.
He's great.
He's
And I like that they're kind of waiting for him to actually wrestle on television. You're getting the good build up. They're building up his character, and eventually he'll wrestle. But I'm not pining for it. Like, I like what I'm seeing out of him right now.
Yeah, he's fun. He's going to be really good. He's going to be big, and yeah, it's good. It felt like it was going to be AJ, but maybe not yet. I don't know. Felt like his first thing was going to be with AJ.
Does before we get to AEW here, does Ronda and Shayna as tag team champions do anything for you?
No, I can't. I feel like they're totally dropping the ball by not putting it on Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. Like, I mean, obviously, if this is leading to Shayna and Ronda breaking up and then having a feud, okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But
it better be where it goes, because I just like the only way for this to work is if you're establishing the two of them as this just dominant tag team. But who are the contenders? Who are the tag teams that are gonna be a legitimate threat to take the belts from them?
The only legit team right now is, well, you have the NXT tag champs that came up. I guess you could have them involved. Because they're cool. Actually, they're a great tag team.
Yeah, but like,
and
you
then
look at them,
Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville.
Yeah, but like,
Sonya Deville's a real fighter, right?
Right, I know Sonya Deville's a real fighter, but even like the NXT girls, like, they're tiny. And then you look at them next to Rousey and Baszler, who are coming to the ring in their judo gis. They don't stand a chance against them.
I mean, I guess you have them dominate until until Liv makes her triumphant return from injury, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
That's the only thing.
All right.
By the way, before we go to AEW, Seth Rollins' open challenge for Monday night has been answered. So we're getting a title defense. I think you've talked about this before, but like,
he'll defend it every now and then on Raw.
Yeah, but isn't the point of an open challenge that we get like the surprise of who's going to answer the open challenge? Isn't it kind of silly that there's an open challenge and then like an hour later it's answered on social media and that's the guy who gets it?
Yeah, they want to promote it.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be not? Yeah, but I think a world title open challenge is enough of, that would make me tune in. Who's gonna show up? Yeah. Now, if you don't like Damian Priest, you don't care, which I think most people do right now. But
yeah,
Damian Priest deserves a title shot without answering an open challenge. Like, he's done enough over the last few months to get it. I just thought it was weird. I always think it's weird when it's like, I have an open challenge on Monday night, and then it's like, this guy has answered the open challenge.
Do you think there are other wrestlers who are pissed, or it's like, damn, I should have been quicker and I want to wrestle for the championship?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure, like they're probably sitting there and they're like, oh, well, wait, hold on. I was going to show up. Like, I thought all I had to do was show up for the open challenge. I didn't know I could just go on social media and do a video of myself.
I'd be frustrated.
That is frustrating. I mean,
that is.
Yeah. All right. Well.
So AEW, the big news from AEW is Tony Khan, again, huge announcement. And the huge announcement is something that I did not think was going to happen. I told you, I was not believing the hype. I was not believing it. Yeah. And it is true. CM Punk is returning. And I suppose it's going to be June 17, I believe it is. The debut of AEW Collision. It's in Chicago. So does that mean
it's Saturday before Forbidden Door too?
So does that mean it's his show? Like, is he exclusively going to be on Collision every Saturday night?
It seems that way. It also sounds like he's going to have like maybe some like creative control over that show.
I mean, the crowd's going to be nuts for him. It's in Chicago.
That episode.
Yeah.
The crowd this Wednesday didn't seem to give a shit.
It was a little bit lukewarm. Yeah, you had some people standing and cheering. They were wearing CM Punk shirts, but it wasn't a massive ovation.
Well, I think a lot of people are like me. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I understand that CM Punk is a massive star and he was a massive star in WWE. He's not relevant anymore. Especially like, if you're a relatively new, like if you're new to wrestling over the last, 4 or 5 years, particularly since AEW started, you don't really know shit about CM Punk. And CM Punk became such a star in WWE because he was the anti-establishment. He was going against WWE, the pipe bomb, this and
Well,
that.
he kind of has that again now, right?
Does he?
Well, based on what
There's
took
an
place.
entire show around him.
Right, but maybe he shows up and maybe he
But
leads
he's not anti-establishment. Tony Khan is like slobbing him up to get him back into this company. Like, I mean, anti-establishment in the sense that like Vince fired him and he did the pipe bomb and he talked shit and he was always against Triple H and all like that. They always tried to hold him back. It's what made Daniel Bryan obviously huge in WWE too. Now he's different, and he's not. They're not building an entire show around Daniel Bryan. And by the way, Blackpool Combat Club is suddenly they're just like incredible. Like they're just awesome. I think if you didn't follow CM Punk back then, he's just not super relevant now. And
it also feels like there's no way that they're going to let him get away with talking shit about those guys.
Unless the guys are like, all right, we know it's good. We know that this is what's best for business.
I don't know. Everyone seems a little bit sensitive.
Yeah. Well, on the elite side, yeah. I've read that like Jericho, who was a big part of this too, is okay with like doing something here. Because they've talked a lot of shit about each other in the past.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where they go. Maybe it's a Jericho Punk kind of thing. But again, if you're just, if you're a relatively young or new wrestling fan, do you give a shit in 2023 about CM Punk and Chris Jericho on Saturday night?
We're about to find out with Collision's ratings on the worst TV night of the week, by the way. Like, we're about to find out.
It's really, I don't know. Maybe it'll be fun. I thought Punk's first run outside of his return on Rampage, I thought his first run in AEW was horrendous.
I was like, it was okay. It's okay.
It did nothing for me. I mean, I wasn't super into it. And maybe it was just because he's older and he hadn't wrestled for 7 years. And when he does wrestle now, he doesn't look great.
Right. Like he's looked fine in the ring. He had, by no stretch has there been a CM Punk match like, oh, that was awesome. Like, yeah. Not really. And I was saying, what was the one with MJF at Revolution. I was there in the front for that with the dog collars. Like, the only reason you thought that was amazing was because there was an aura around it because you had the dog collar and they were covered in blood. And like, it wasn't like it was this great match.
Yeah. And I also just think like, again, like AEW from the beginning was always like this opportunity to get some of these either underutilized guys or lesser known guys or younger guys like an opportunity to become big stars. And I think, like, for example, I think Bryan Danielson's done a great job with that since he has come to AEW. Like, his match with MJF was unbelievable. I think all Jericho, for all the people, I mean, a lot of people say Jericho like buries people. I think all Jericho's done since the very beginning of this thing has been trying to get young guys over in some way. I don't know that Punk is that guy. And if he's not that guy for AEW, I have no real like desire to see Punk just be a top guy anymore. I don't. I'm more interested on Saturdays now seeing Miro and Andrade. Like they're supposed to be on Saturday too.
That's funny. I totally forgot about Miro, who like returned 2 weeks ago. That must be that he's going to be on Collision.
Yeah, they announced it. Well, in the press release, he was in the press release.
Okay,
and so it was Andrade, like the Warner.
Oh, and Andrade too.
Yeah, Andrade is going to be back too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Now look, that's not getting me to watch live on Saturday night, but
no, but I'll watch it. Yeah, I'll watch that. I mean, if I'm not doing anything, I'll watch it. I mean, I have no problem with it. But I don't want to just see, I think it's a 2-hour show, right? Like it doesn't like interest me to watch 2 hours where it's like every week we're leading up to what's CM Punk going to do. I'm okay with not having that. Like, and again, we have to see how much crossover there is between the shows, right? Because like, if you're telling me that MJF's never going to be on Collision, if you're telling me that the Elite are never going to be on Collision, then that also doesn't interest me. Like, what am I watching for? Because it's good wrestling. Hey, last night's Rampage or Friday night's Rampage, it was weird, but all the matches were great. I mean,
it's funny that you say that because I put on Rampage like after I watched SmackDown late on Friday night, and after SmackDown, I decided with my son, all right, let's see what Rampage has got going on. And I started fast forwarding stuff, and I'm like, I can't watch this. And I moved on. Like, there was nothing. Yes, I'm sure the wrestling was
right.
Really
that's what I'm
good,
saying. Exactly.
But I like the matches they were. I'm like, this is completely inconsequential.
Well, it was 4 titles were defended on the show. None of them were AEW titles.
Right. I'm like, this is I don't
it was a Triple H or a Triple A title, 2 New Japan titles.
Right, and like I don't know
and
the
a Ring
guy
of Honor
from,
title.
Like I know they're presenting to me that the guy from New Japan is a big deal, but I have no idea who he is. You know?
No, unless you're a hardcore fan, like especially the guy who was in the main event. Like I know Zack Sabre Jr. He's a big deal, or he has been a big deal for a long time. But the guy that was in the main event who has like the Ring of Honor pure title, right? I don't know who that guy is. Right. I don't know who that guy is, and they say he's like a legend. I don't know. Yeah, it's very strange. But if that's what ultimately ends up happening with Collision, where it's like the storylines don't matter to the overall product, but it's just good wrestling, it's going to be tough to stomach.